for Schindler. Has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance!
Hello and welcome to a pint-sized preview sponsored by Magic Rock Brewing on Huddersfield's opponent this season. And in this episode, we're looking at Sheffield United. Are the Blades looking sharp this pre-season? That was a brilliant pun there about their top scorer, all-time legend, whatever he is, Billy Sharp, if you didn't get that. So we spoke to Jonny Gascoigne from the Shoreham View, and he gave us a rundown on how Sheffield United are looking.
Hello, Jonny from the Shoreham View, Sheffield United fan channel, and it's starting to get real now, isn't it? Pre-season's almost over, and the season's fast approaching. Real football, which will be great for us. Having lost 3-0 to Mansfield, 3-2 to Scunthorpe, but they're only pre-season games, I kept getting told. Exciting stuff. Signings-wise, made some decent signings. I'm never going to get his name right. We'll just call him Anel for now. It was being chased by Blackburn. Looks like a steal if the price that was being talked about is correct. Comfortable on the ball. Could be a steal or a flop. Who knows? Kieran Clark. Next, Tommy Doyle should be good if we could keep him fit. And we've still got places we need to strengthen. I'll be honest. Up front is one of them. We need some pace up front. We need some creativity. To put in the Morgan Gibbs-White role, which we'll be sorely missing. Have we got the right manager? Paul Heckingbottom kind of proved that maybe we do need a diet Chris Wilder, which is what I think he is at times. But on his own merit, he's got the strong backbone to kind of run this team and not let people walk all over him. He's a very good coach. I think he could do well. Could do well. Very pessimistic, aren't I? I just want to get the season started. I want to get on the beers and start going to football again. Win, lose or draw, we'll be on the booze, having a good time following the club. Even if we're bottom of the league by Christmas, we're not going to be bottom of the league by Christmas. Don't fucking quote me on that. It's not happening. So
cheers for that, Jonny. Yeah, interesting Sheffield United, having a look at them. I think they're going to struggle this year. I don't particularly look at that squad and think it's improving much. I mean, Sander Berg's still there. They kind of got that in the middle and at the back, but I just don't think you can keep relying on Billy Sharp to be popping up and scoring goals every season. I mean, a big transfer for them. Era are the new kit manufacturers for them rather than Adidas for me. They haven't brought the kit out yet though, so what's going on there? Well, maybe it's out by the time you're listening to it. Paul Heckingbottom still hanging around there, see how he does. I'm just not as convinced. I thought that they had a really good season last year, but you've kind of got that Gibbs-White hole that needs to be filled. Will Tommy Doyle do that coming in? Maybe. I don't know if he's got that ability like Gibbs-White has. And then Kieran Clark on loan, interesting move. Maybe a bit of experience in there, but it doesn't really excite me. And then this lad from Malmö, centre-back, I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name. Ahmed Hodzik, we'll say. But for me, I'm just the favourites to finish in that top six with the bookies. And I just think they'll be out of the playoffs just this year. I think maybe top half, but maybe I'm totally wrong. What do you think, Brady?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think Tommy Doyle is a good player at this level. I think he's not the same as Gibbs-White, but he's a very good player. I think the defenders they brought in, they are defensively good. I think Wes Foderingham was one of the best keepers in the division last season. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like quite a good squad. They should really be in the top six. As a bare minimum for me. It's just whether they can. Heckingbottom's an interesting one because when they got Jukanovic in last season, I thought that was a really smart move, and it just didn't work out. And he came in and kind of just made them, stable, and they kept progressing up. I think they're one of those teams where their business isn't done. So it'll be interesting to see what the squad looks like on September the 1st. At the moment, Billy Sharp, we know he scores goals in this division. I just don't think you can rely on him for a full season. I think age is catching up with him. And Ryan Brewster, a really promising player, had injury problems last season. Is this a season where he could finally, light up the Championship? We saw what he did at Swansea before when he was on loan. Maybe so. Ollie McBurney, I think, it doesn't convince me. That looks like a confidence thing. Maybe needs a reset. So I don't know. They should be top 6, but and that's where I've got them down. But I'm not sure. But if you had to force me, I would say top 6.
Yeah. So Matt, as things stand, do you think that those players, Brewster, McBurney, can step up and help Billy Sharp out a bit this season?
I think you're right. There's a Morgan Gibbs-White hole, isn't there? I think Ryan Brewster was just about starting to look something like until he got injured last year as well. I definitely think there's still a player in there. Same with McBurney. There's just something not quite working for them at the minute in the environment that they're in, which probably won't change under Paul Heckingbottom. Heckingbottom, not a massive fan, but he did a good job, so fair play to him. I speak to Jonny a little bit, the Sheffield United fan, and he always says Sheffield United are notoriously quite slow in the market, and it's quite late when they tend to come through and make the signings. I think maybe a lot of it might pinge on Sander Berger a little bit. He's been linked with teams in Germany. He's been linked with the Chesties. So it just depends if he goes for the money that they think he's worth and whether that gets reinvested. If it doesn't, they've still got Sander Berger, who's, he's not down tools for them. He was pretty good last year. If it does, just depends how they spend it. So I think Sheffield United are going to be one of those gunning for the top 6. I'm not going to be as gung-ho as what I was last year and predict them top 2. But I think, top 6 is a plausible aim. It's just they've still got work to do in the window, and it just depends on how well they do that as to how they do next season.
Nice one. Dave, what do you think?
Well, hopefully my views won't be as controversial as Matt's that caused Brady to actually leave the room. I think playoffs are higher. Heckingbottom is an interesting manager. I'm not sure he's brilliant. I think a better manager, and I would be predicting they'd be in the top 3. But I think there's a lot in that squad to like. As Matt alluded to, they do tend to go quite late, and I think they will add. I think their sort of marquee signings, prestige signings, are still to come in this window. So I just have a gut feeling that I think they'll quite comfortably be in that playoff mix. I think the interesting thing for Sheffield United this season is if they are in that playoff mix, really they've got to go up. If you look at their wage bill and various other things, they can't really afford 3 years in this league. So they really do have to throw the kitchen sink at it at some point this year. So interesting season for them, but I think they'll comfortably be in the playoff places, to be honest.
Yeah, well, let's see how Sheffield United pan out this season. That was another pint-sized preview sponsored by Magic Rock.